Hey guys, got in a bunch more Sky Trail yesterday. So I had a bunch of recent BR increases from mount hooves, from mount training whips, and a little bit of sylph gear, all sorts of stuff. So I thought I would give it another go, and turned out really well, or at least I think so. So here I'm using my Dark Pet against this not Wind Sylph, but Wind Boss. This is actually a magical attack boss, but with wind elemental attack. So that was pretty interesting. If you see at the bottom, that's an MDef reduction buff, and so presumably if he's decreasing my MDef, then he's dealing magical attacks. So that was an interesting thing that Ashita from the Dole Games team also pointed out to me, and so I do have some magical defense on here, I think. But regardless, I don't think that was the biggest factor. My damage increase was really nice with I finished doing the Holy Forge on my weapon, and so I'm just doing a lot more damage now. I tried to do this with Hercules before, and it was just miserable. Hercules does deal a ton of damage, but even with wind resistance crystals in here, it was just absolutely miserable. I would die every single time before I could get anything done towards the end game here. So I did die at least once before this attempt that you see. I think I tried to stay in my Sylph too long at the beginning, which is always, always a chance that I'm going to do that. You do want to deal a bunch of damage and see how many hits you can get in within a short period of time, but at the same time you have to balance that with getting out and being able to get into Sylph mode again really quickly. So here I figured out, which is the key thing in the rest of this, is that I can live through that final attack when they get the big 1000% damage increase and everything. I can actually live through usually at least one, if not two, of those attacks with a Guardian rune on. So that's really helpful. It's amazing what that extra 1 or 2 turns does to get things done. So now the Electro boss, this is gonna be 4-9, so stage 4, level 9, and here I switch back to Hercules. I have really high electro resistance, so that helps. So I'm supposed to not do as much damage because it's electro versus electro, but still a pretty nice output. When I was actually building up my my awakening for this, I actually had to wait until the boss hit the 1000% increase, so I really don't take a lot of damage from him, which is why I forgo the Guardian rune here and just go. I even get rid of Centauria because I didn't want my tune to accidentally use that on AFK mode. I didn't want to heal too much. I left Restore in as an emergency heal, but really I think the heal rune is plenty. So key parts here are just double hits and Sylph timing, and runes are sort of important, but definitely the first two things are the most important. Also mages, when they double hit, it's every other turn. So you're gonna have one turn where you can do double hits, and then you have to do a single hit or single hit and rune, and then you can have another turn that will double hit. That's the same case with all classes when you're in Sylph mode, for the most part. There's some exceptions, maybe you can break the rule, but on a regular basis, that's what it is. So you want to use a slower attack and then a fast attack, or a fast attack and then a fast attack, and those are how you make sure you get Delphix in. Not Delphix in, double hits in. So that'll do it. Nice big Delphic at the end. I think I got a B rating on the one before, which means I took a lot of damage, and here I managed an A, but S ranking, these are so difficult just because I'm taking so much damage. Here's the light boss, so I switch back to my Gaia, so for the increased damage with a Dark Pet, and And also I can heal myself this way. I do take more damage because of this. I take a lot more damage than I would if I were using Hercules, but I think that's offset at least to some extent because I can heal myself with Devour Soul. Oof. So I'm pretty sure here, this is me looking back at footage, so I'm not in real time at the moment, but my guess is that I probably end on Devour Soul here, so I could use a Brutality, yeah, and then a Delphic and Devour Soul. You know, an early Devour Soul isn't bad. You make sure your health is in check, but actually I wait to do the Delphic until later. You know, I could have done it earlier, but actually taking a bunch of damage helps my damage output. One of the passives on Gaia is that the more damage you take, the more damage you deal. I think it's like you do have an increase of like 3% damage increase for every 10% of HP that you've lost. So that's the little trick, is that you know, you can pop not a Guardian, what am I talking about? A Brutality rune, and then Delphic, and then with that still increased damage, I heal back more, actually, when I've taken damage already. So kind of just an order of operations. Here kind of risky. I was scared of dying, but I managed to get a Devour Soul. Or get into Sylph mode before I needed to use a heal, which is what's so great about Gaia in some of these PvE situations. Just because now, you know, I don't have to heal, I don't have to waste a turn not dealing any damage. I think Ashiro was also telling me that he did a bunch of these. Actually, usually he uses Gaia, just because knights have no means of healing other than a heal rune. So it's well, aside from block heals, which don't really give much. They only give 3k per block, so that's really not going to help him out that much. So that was pretty cool. I got to clear the level. I get an extra two horns each day, and then also a clearing bonus, which actually was not as much as I thought it would be. I thought for clearing you know, stage 4 of Skytrail that would be a lot more, but that's okay. Here's a water boss, so I thought that would be relatively easy. Which it was to a certain extent. I did fail once, but before this, and it was I think just a matter of getting out of Sylph earlier, which is again pretty much the main reason, is figuring out exactly how much time I need. But here I don't bother with the heal rune. I don't know why I didn't do that. You know, maybe I just thought that I don't take enough damage from a water boss. I am a little surprised just because actually once I beat, I guess it would be 310, so stage 3 level 10, once I got to 4-1, that water boss was incredibly difficult. But maybe back then I just didn't have as much water resistance, or resistances in general, that I could convert to water. So heal back up. A nice crit heal. 371k. Here I'm actually not potted as much as I was before. So in the earlier bosses, I had scrolls on as well, but I forgot to put my scrolls back on after they expired here. So I managed to beat this boss without them, and but for the next ones I do put them back on because they get harder very, very quickly. The big advantage that I have here are just resistances. You know, I have 5 level 7 resistance crystals that I can switch to water, or whatever element boss that I'm fighting. So really pretty manageable. With that high of resistance and a 70% damage reduction Guardian rune, I can live through a hit or two from these from when the boss has a 1000% damage increase like that. And then sneak in another attack, which usually helps. So, oh yeah, so here it's super, super close. I'm gonna have to do another attempt. So a little bit lucky there, but I managed. So that was boss 5-1. On to 5-2, which is a fire boss. So here I've, you know, built up my awakening again, switched my resistances over to fire, and again using Hercules, the resistances help so much. Usually when I'm building up my awakening points, which is when I take my troops off and I just let the boss hit me over and over again so I can build up rage and awakening points, I get a feel for how much damage I'm going to take from the boss, and here I felt comfortable not, going without a heal rune. So that's kind of where the decision making phase goes with what I want to do. If I fail, of course I'll try other things and get an even, more exact sense of what I need. But that's at least the first run through. That's when I figure out what I want to do. Double hits really pretty hard to manage here. If you don't have a little bit of slowing, sometimes they're difficult. But of course, all of these bosses are slow immune now. I actually find the double hits easier to get in with my class skills, just because lightning bolt is so quick. Centauria and restore are also very fast. So. Actually, all of the mage heals are pretty quick, except for Blessed Light. That's really the only exception. So here, do I squeeze in? Yeah, I do get a damnation in. I do like getting a damnation in right before I go into Sylph, so I can just deal a little bit of extra damage. So you see me do that, instead of rune and Sylph at the beginning, you always pretty much see me do a damnation and then go into Sylph. If I'm really taking a lot of damage, maybe damnation, Centauria, and then go into Sylph. Ooh, Guardian Rune. There's one hit. Looks like I can take another. But I don't need it. Nice big crit there for, I think it was 1.28 million, so deal with that. Again, a B rating, so I'm not clearing these with, flying colors. Pretty mediocre grades. But here's just me failing against this wind boss over and over and over again. I did so much Sky Trail. I was really trying to beat this. I really wanted this footage. But these wind bosses, it's really easy to get tripped up. I tried all sorts of things. I didn't try using Medusa, but I did try Hercules, which was, again, miserable. I said at the beginning that, Electro Sylphs just don't hold up very well here. And so in my final attempt, I tried it one more time with Gaia, and it was just very difficult. I do get the closest here, so Damnation and go into Sylph again. Not really needing Centauria here. It wasn't so much about damage as that I take, but more about damage that I deal. This guy, I don't know if it's just amount of HP. I think that the HP increases with each level. I don't think that it's necessarily how much defense they have. I think the main parts about Sky Trail, the increased difficulty, is usually just amount of resistance and amount of HP. Oh, and how much damage they deal to you. That part I wasn't as concerned about. I was surprised how much I liked kind of using Guardian Rune and Brutality. That's definitely a new combination for me, just because usually I would use a heal rune and Brutality, or something and a heal rune. But maybe heal runes are kind of like a security blanket for me, but I'm glad I tried something different. Nice big thunder crit there. Mages really don't have a Delphic, definitely not a quick Delphic. Even Thunder, it's really pretty slow, but it's the closest thing we have to a single target Delphic, because all the non-Sylph Delphics for mages are pretty miserable. By miserable, I just mean god-awful. So here, I thought I was pretty close, but Snozagar, he buffs up, and I'm too far behind. I still have a bar and a half to go at that point, and I just couldn't manage it. So thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully I can get this eventually. I might try it once after Class Wars tonight, so we'll see if I can maybe get a recording of it. So take care, thanks for watching, and have a very good day.